A very pleasant evening to you out there. Many thanks for joining us on another edition of the program National Talk on Equa Television International. My name is Joyce Jakada. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Equa Television International. And tonight on Equa Television, we're going to beam our light on some national issues. And we beg you to join this conversation by also dropping your comments on our official Facebook page at Equa Television International. And on National Talk tonight, the Organized Labor Union, comprising of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, walked out of the ongoing minimum wage negotiation with the government and the organized private sector, enraged by the 48,000 naira proposal by the federal government as the national minimum wage. The labor unions described the offer as ridiculous. The NLC president, Joe Ajero, says the government is not serious about negotiating with the labor on the new minimum wage. He further explained that the federal government does not have the necessary data to negotiate with the labor. Ajero maintained that government have till May 31st to arrive at a decision, adding that Labour would take a decision at the expiration of the ultimatum. You will recall that Labour Union picked the headquarters of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission in Abuja on Monday, demanding reversal of electricity tariff hike. Joe Ajero, we don't know where this current tariff is coming from. Reduction embarked upon by NEC in recent times, explaining the reduction after tariff increase won't stand, insisting that NEC and DISCOs must first reverse the tariff to the old rates and come to the negotiation table with labor unions and other stakeholders on an agreeable way forward. On National Talk tonight, I'm being joined by COMRADE AYODELE, who is the NLC Vice Chairman, Plateau State Chapter. Good evening and welcome to National Talk.
You're welcome.
It feels good to have you. It's been a while. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And I know it has also been a busy week for you, and thank you for creating time to join us tonight.
My pleasure.
All right. It has been series of rigmarole between the labor union as well as the federal government. Last week we were here to talk about one of the taxes that cybersecurity levy that was supposed to be implemented, and a lot of people got enraged, saying that, like, let the poor man breathe. It has been one form of tax to the other, and that's contrary to the national tax policy of 2017 that the federal government actually signed, saying that we're going to reduce the number of taxes so that Nigerians can at least enjoy dividends of democracy, can like have access to some forms of livelihood without even stress. But recently, with the coming of this administration, it started from removal of fuel subsidy and then imposition of some certain levies and then taxes. But it seems like the government is one that always listens to the people, because when we see pressure group like NLC coming up and even some concerned Nigerians coming out to talk against some of this policy, it's been suspended, like that of the cybersecurity levy. And recently, or for some weeks now, Nigerians have been raging about this issue of electricity tariff hike. Some have complained, and the electricity tariff hike is for those that are on band A. It used to be 68 naira per kilowatt, and then it was increased to 225. That's about 240% increments, and that generated a lot of reactions across sectors of the country. And NLC particularly, or the organized labor, have called on the federal government to call the attention of NEC to reverse that particular hike in electricity tariff, even though they are saying, oh, we actually reduced to 208 naira per kilowatt, but still NLC are saying no. This week we saw cross-section of protesters across the country, and like I said earlier on, the NLC picked the headquarters of NEC in Abuja, and they are saying you have to reverse this. But I would just like to quickly get your reaction as regard this, even though the Minister of Power said, see, there's no going back. If you insist on going back, that means there's going to be total blackout. So he's saying that there's no going back. Electricity tariff have to stay. Even with the protest, we're yet to hear anything from NEC. But what do you make of this electricity tariff, especially for those that are on band A?
It's just a very unfortunate situation we find ourselves in the country today. The government of today, we thought they are coming to relieve people from hardship we are facing economically. But when you look at all the scenarios since they came on power almost a year now, it has inflicted a lot of injuries on Nigerians. You see, it's very unfortunate. yes, labor is out to protest or to say no to increase in tariff of NEPA. The question is that it's very difficult for us to keep silent about it. If they are charging about 208 or 268 naira per kilomile, how much is our salary? So when you go to buy the unit, from 1,000 naira, you have only 4 units. The 4 units can it sustain you for even, let's just say, a day or 2 days. You have a flat, 2 or 3 bedroom flats. And the whole 3 bedroom flat needs to be illuminated with light. So now look at the rates that is going. So which means we are looking at Nigerians, everybody to be buying 1,000 naira or 2,000 naira per day. So that takes us back to the minimum wage we are talking about. It's another subject of issue.
But I would like to ask, why is the organized labor like asking for the reversal, even when the Minister of Power made it clear that an issue of liquidity?
That is an illustration.
There's also gas companies
that
to
is
pay.
what
There's also some debts that, so they need all of, like they are justifiable
when we are
reasons.
talking about gas, how much is a kg of gas as of today? How much? How many people can wake up and use gas? And what kind, before you use gas, you must have a generator. How many workers that can avoid buying generators when we are still battling with survival to put food in our mouth? You are talking about gas. Is gas even really available?
So maybe probably that's part of the reason why
that's part of the reason why we say, that's why we say no to it. When you say they are increasing the tariff, is the light available? I don't know where you are living when you are talking about band A. Are you getting 48 hours?
There's an improvement. We can say there's an improvement.
If there's improvement, can you see the inflation that you have caused? Have you watched it? Go to Cyber Cafe. Go for a business, a printing press or wherever. You will hear that because of high rate of electricity,
so is
that have created,
is NLC protesting because of the implication on household individuals as well as businesses?
Exactly.
Or NLC is just a pressure group trying to.
We are not just come out unnecessarily and give a pressure group. I want you to know something. You must substantiate. You must come with proof. You must come up with backup. Why that sudden increase come up? That is what is affecting us today as a result of removal of subsidy without sitting down with stakeholders, without looking at what are the effects of removal of subsidy. Every one of us, including unborn child, can tell you what that have translated to now. For them to come up, for NEC to come up and say that, okay, they want to regulate, they want to improve. How? How, my dear? You are not just talking here that we are talking about minimum wage. Let us be sincere, and I think you are a worker. What of thousands of people out there who are not even working? Are you saying they are not entitled to light?
So I'm saying, is NLC protesting because of the common people out there, or is it just protesting because it's a pressure group and needs to make statements?
We are not.
The Minister of Power has justified
look. We have given them mandate, and we are waiting for their submission. That is when they will justify the question you are asking. If NLC is out for because of a pressure group, we are not a politicians. We are not out for any pressure group. Nobody can pressure us. Nobody can pressure us. No any pressure group that can come up and mandate NLC, you must be on the street. You must go and close shop. I hope you understand what you are saying now.
So are you
now
compassing
now, when we are saying no, the benefit of it in turns, including me and you, another outside there, without any discriminations, without any dichotomy, without any nomenclatures of wherever you are coming. The issue of banks needs to be reconsidered. So when you want to do a band, you must come up with appraisals. So, have you seen any appraisals of it? And have you seen the effectiveness of it? As I'm coming here, they have taken off my light. So I have to choose on. So if you want to do this, if you have traveled outside the country, you see their light is on for 48 hours. And you have access to it. If you are talking of increase or suddenly, there must be an equity of it that justified what you are saying.
So if there's justification,
if there is justification, then we see that.
The
now, then when aside of that, aside of justifications, now you now look at the economic aspect of it. Who and whom must we deprive ourselves? These are part of fundamental rights. I hope you are getting my point now. Access to what everybody should enjoy. But because you say because we're a group or set of people who are regulators of all these things, yeah, you can just wake up one day and say, yeah, this is mine. I think we should reconsider this.
So what's
and
the
that's
way
the
forward?
problem. The way forward is very simple.
Because your president,
as of today, is that we should revert back to the former price.
Okay. So after reversing, then
yes,
you come to the table.
Come to the round table and let us look at it and we place it on the ground. These are your demand. Okay, this is our demand. I hope you are getting the point now. There must be a characters of of demand.
Well said, because that was exactly what Senator Aline Dume,
yeah, so that must be a character.
Representing
so we should be very
said.
Careful the way we are assessing situations. I told you sometimes here. What are the fractions of Nigeria? You say, labor, because we have the mouth to speak and to tell them that this is it. Let us do it in this way. There's no any pressure group. I want to tell you today now. Fuel, we are buying fuel now at 950 naira.
Yes, there's no group pressuring labor, but labor in itself is a pressure
wait, no, I'm telling you, are not saying maybe because of any pressure group.
No.
Okay, if we are
labor is a pressure group.
We that English or pressure group, we are not. I want you to understand something. If you say we are pressure group, fine, all good. But at the same time, things have changed, and that's why you see we keep on calling for dialogue. Oh, we are getting the point now. We keep on calling for dialogue. You see, before you see labor say no, and come out with placard, come out with banner, and say no, they should close shop, knowing that definitely the process is totally failed. By becoming adamant to what the labor is calling for. That is when you and others, we know that labor will be talking to these people. We are not just jump to the street. And we sit down, we have economists within ourselves, we have lawyers, we have various, whatever you can think of, we have an intellectual ones.
Well said,
so we sit down and look at this and articulate it very well. What are the disadvantages of this thing to the masses of the nations?
Well said, Comrade. Well said, because I recall that on the floor of the 10th Assembly, Senator Aline Dume, Senator representing Borno South, made clear this statement, noting that somebody that is just appointed by the president cannot just come and rule against the constitution of the country.
No, we have a law.
Especially increasing
now
whatever law you come out with that contradicts
the neck. Is it really look at the law? Has he studied it? When was he appointed? Let us ask the questions. And when you came on board, what have you done? And then what affected us up to what we are saying? Okay, now, as of today now, how many refineries that is working? When we are talking, okay, we are going to get some other palliative to cushion the effect. Part of it is that CNG vehicles. How many now have you seen? How many? And how many states this thing is being functionable? So if you cannot see this thing on, let us look at it religiously, without any sentiment, without having political alliance on what you are saying. But what you are dealing with, what's affecting me and you. How many people now, have you been to Federal Garden here in Plateau State? Go and see number of cars now, people are bushing out on daily basis, cutting their car, because they can no longer fuel the vehicle. And keeping it there, look at it as a waste. And they cannot put warm meals in their mouth or to their family.
Governance.
So what are we saying?
Governance is about the people. Yes. I quite agree with you. Governance is actually.
But are they really those people?
And that is why I'm agreeing with the NLC president that calls the attention of NEC and the federal government, like they need to refer back to the constitution and for increments in electricity.
What can you say about that?
There's actually need to sit down on the round table.
How do you look at labor at this aspect? Are you now saying they are law-abiding group of people? Can you call them they are lawless people?
All right,
we are looking at them, okay, place this thing. This is what the constitution says. We are not working out of that. We are not going to, kangaroo kitchen court and say, okay, give us order, let us do this. We act at the instance of law.
All right, let me draw your attention to what the Labour statement that the Labour made, which is earlier this month, calling on the federal government to actually review the minimum wage. This is not new, because going by the minimum wage act, it is needful that after 5 years it is being reviewed to reflect the current economic situation. And Labour came up with, the organized Labour came up with an amount, 615,000 as minimum wage, and it gave a breakdown of how it came about with these amounts: housing, transportation, household school fees, and all of that. Some this 615,000. But as they went into discussion and negotiation with representative of the federal government, we saw that Labour had to walk out of that particular negotiation, because the federal government is proposing 48,000 naira as minimum wage. Like, even when states like Edo State are saying we are going to give 70,000, which a lot of people felt, oh, this should give that's like a starting point for federal government. If the state is saying, oh, we are going to give 70,000, but even though some people are saying, no, it's because election is by the corner in Edo State, it's just some forms of politicking.
Motivation.
But then people are looking at it that the federal government should have looked at that 70K as a starting point, but they are proposing 48,000
now,
as
let me
minimum wage.
you see, I want to throw back the ball, and I want you to see if you can catch it up. If it were you have a goods to sell, and you tag your market, possibly there must be negotiations. And so you say, this my market is 700,000. Odelawo, your goods, because we have power, the goods belongs to you. You now tag it as 700 naira. And somebody now just walking, trying to purchase the items. And I tell you, 700 naira, oh, I have, okay, how much is this? This 700 naira, it's okay. Can you allow me to pay 30,000? What will be your response? How will your countenance talk? How do you look at that person?
I should find out why.
Crazy.
No, I should.
You cannot say crazy, but inside you and your brain must be.
I should find out why the person is proposing 30,000.
Can you see the distance? The difference. You see, the history of this. Let me take you back. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people. Collate the ones in Plateau State here. Before Labour arrived to 615, right?
Yes.
With this survey, we appraised respective states. The forms were distributed and asked, let us know what is the average earning of Nigerian in respective state. You can see it's a very big task. That took a long time. After finishing all this exercise, summon all this document from all the various states at the center point. We now arrive into this. That is stage one. Right? Because if you want to build a house, you must first of all purchase a land. After getting a land, you do declarance. Let's assume Labour have done that one. Two, what are the structures that we need to sustain that particular environment? We invited all the stakeholders. All the governors were invited for that meeting. Now, let everybody come up with a sample. Can I say town hall meetings? Everybody were present. And this issue was discussed. So what we have brought out the issue of 48,000 naira. For God's sake, how much is a mudu of beans? As of today in Jos, in Plateau State, a mudu of beans that contain 8 cups of milk is 2,000 naira. I don't know whether you are verifying that. In a family of 4, husband, wife, 2 kids, can a mudu of beans sustain them?
But
for 1 week?
Labour is saying this.
I'm coming. I'm giving you analysis of it. So that's what I say. Look. We are in on the media. We have to be very cautious of language we use. But it's grossly in human system. And this issue is totally unacceptable to us and to Nigerians.
But is Labour aware of the current economic situation?
What do you mean by Labour?
I mean the devaluation of naira, inflation.
You are a journalist, and you are telling me is Labour aware? You are saying is Labour aware of the economy?
Yes, because you're coming with 615,000.
I'm coming. If Labour is not aware, why are we demanding for 615,000? Don't you hear the explanation I'm giving to you? Access, a lot of process have just took place. We are not just stood up and then start writing. We need 115,000. No, yes, we are not saying, let me be honest to you, we believe in social dialogue as of now. If it is before you say everybody tear his clothes, we turn our clothes out, we start jumping around. You see, we still dancing music.
Comrade Sunday.
So I'm just, hold on. If we are saying 615 for God's sake, let me just tell you, the government are not prepared to negotiate. They are not ready. That's the simple form I will tell you here. They are not ready yet.
When
you see, until when we now say we are Oliver Twist, that your 48,000 is not acceptable. We want more, and we need more. And I want to give you an assignment, so that maybe we can go out. That 48,000 naira, can you convert it to dollars? Because we are talking of a devaluation of naira. Can you? No. Just give me simply how much does that one resulted to?
Comrade Sunday, I'm not.
The government is not. I mean, as of today, our leaders, wherever where they are, their insensitivities to the issue, into the plight of Nigerians, not only workers.
I'm happy earlier on when you were giving your submission, you talk about the fact that amongst your members are economists, and when you talk about minimum wage, it's a factor.
We are not even talking of. See, as of today now, I want to correct you something. We are no longer even talking of minimum wage now. We want to talk about living wages.
Okay.
So when we look at living wages now, I expect you to let us dwell on the living wages. So some of them, they are watching the program.
But
maybe they have something to go home with. For you to come to work today, how much have you spent?
And somebody now
I've answered your questions. I've answered your questions.
The question is the organized labor aware of the current economic situation that Nigeria is faced with? As we speak right now, inflation is 33.69%.
Yes.
And when you talk about inflation, minimum wage is a factor. When you have that kind of how many of even the labor members can pay their drivers, for example, 615,000? Did you consider the current devaluation of naira is there, inflation is there, and labor is coming up with 615,000?
I want us to be here.
Is that realistic?
It's very realistic. Let me take you around. We are demanding from our fathers, and there are so many ways our father can fulfill all the righteousness to satisfy their children. Right? We are their children. Now, but if they are not ready to sacrifice, we will now be talking the way you are talking. One, for each of them to travel from here to Abuja, how much do you think it costs? That is one. I will not give you the cost implications. But when the time comes, we explode. Right? Now, how many personnel do they have? Right? I was discussing with somebody today. Retired person, whether general, whether commissioner, whether this, is every month is earning 2.4 million. And strongly, not less than about 6 powerful security men attached, retired. This Nigeria is still funding all this. Vehicle is attached. Right? Now, look at all this. Go around and see people that cut into 48,000 naira. Is 48,000 naira enough for them to fuel their single car? That is number one. Is 48,000 naira is enough for them to feed their domestic animals? When are they consider the deflation of naira and economy, the suffering of the masses? Are they looking at that? If they are looking at that, there are some of the area all of us should cut down. How much you are here? Are you earning up to 250 in a month? And see, you appear every day on the air. You need to have you need to get well dressed. Probably most of things you put on is gojo.
All those things that the allowances.
how much
the allowances for all of that is not part of my
darling, let us be reasonable, my dear. Let us be reasonable when we are asking questions and face the reality. I've given you the analysis of what is going on. Why these people are not benevolent? Why these people are not ready to do the needful? All this thing we are talking about is when we have a political will. You cannot look at it that the economy of Nigeria is booming. Look at the West. Are you not saying they have a dump where they are getting their fuel? There are some things that are associated with this that you don't look when you are talking of economy. Now we are talking, last time I was said, we are talking about refinery must be function. Now the question is that who are to make it to be function? Is it not government? How many of them? How many refineries?
So why is the organized labor not insisting?
Are we
that
not insisting on that? Are we
function?
not? Are we not? The little one that function and see, you should stand there to appreciate labor. Because without labor, things will have gone eroded more than what we are experiencing today. I'm not speaking because I'm a labor officer. But the reality, as time goes on, I will join also the masses. Even the other job or not, I don't have a different market.
Okay, I have a quick
But
question.
I want to tell you, I want to ask you before asking me a questions. These people you are talking that we are not, are we sensitive to issues? Is there any different market from where the commissioner goes? Is there any different market from where House of Assembly member, a senator goes? We eat the same tomato. Tomato is tomato. Is that not so? Do they tag any name for them? See, we need to see. But I always say something. We are falling into the hands, and Bible says, until where God's kingdom comes, we can get it right. Because if we want to have the faith God has for mankind, generally, we will not find ourselves in this dilemma we have today.
Okay. You know, the labor NLC
but you should begin to appreciate labor.
I
only know that you are trying to pull in, and I will give it to you.
No.
But you must be sincere. You must be sincere and see that labor. You should call us here and comment what you are saying.
We'll get there. But
well, we must. We are already. We are moving gradually.
Let me draw your attention to a statement made by your president, Comrade Ajero.
And what?
He said that they are giving government until 31st of May to arrive at a decision, adding that Labour will take a decision at the expiration of the ultimatum. This sounds like a threat. And as from the meeting now,
it's not a threat.
Let me no,
so that we not implicate. Let us translate. When you want to translate the law.
All right.
So no, it's a threat. I will kill you right now. It's a threat. But I'm giving you that within so number of days, do the needful. Then if you fail to do it, we have given you your own room to execute all your powers. Whatever right you have, do it. Now at this time we are not turning to it that okay, at this time of a point, every one of us have a fundamental right. So now okay, I'm going to close shop. It's not a threat.
All right.
Even I prepare your mind that okay, this is what's going to happen. For them not to allow it to happen. Then do the needful.
All right.
Or the needful is that call us to a round table. Can you see that? See, I give you an example of 700 to 300 to 30 naira. If it is you, will you not get out of my front, my friend? Are you a thief?
Comrade Sunday, I hope you will not walk out of this discussion.
No. It's very provoking. You should. I'm just telling you the reality.
Okay, that was an information that was passed by NLC.
NLC is not threatening anybody.
From the negotiation,
they are educating them.
From the negotiation, federal government is saying we have 48,000 to give as minimum wage, and then the organized private sector are saying 54,000. Even though they said during that negotiation that some of our workers earn up to 78,000. What would happen if they maintain their stand? What is the way forward now for Labour?
See, when we get to the bridge, we cross it. Do you understand the point now? You know, government have a fun way of going to kitchen court to go and get court orders to restrain not to do anything. You know,
and we've seen that work in the past.
Wait, we have seen it in the past, but it's no longer working again. You understand the point now? You see, my people give a proverb that when you keep on lying, and the truth move far, one day, the truth will surface. So what you are saying, I will not answer you now, but we can join voice to encourage, to talk to them by means of any social means, of tell the government, tell those who seduce with responsibility of this. It's just unfortunate. See, some of the things that are responsible for all this issue, I want to tell you the secret, is misinformations. when you move closer to some people that will have assigned their signature on this, because he has given some people responsibility to do, and they felt that because of their selfish interest.
I see how passionate you are about the reality that we're faced with. So
what
would you suggest at the minimum wage now?
Minimum wage?
Yes.
When I've given you a calculations, do you have a child?
So you are still standing by 615,000.
That's, we stand on it.
You know?
Hold on. We stand on it. And when we get to that table to discuss, you want me now to
so Labour is still going back to the table, right?
You read something now here.
Because
you say my national president said, why won't they work out? See, we are not here for a playing. I don't want to be here today, but because you keep on pressurize me. Can you just imagine if you, as a person, can continue more pressure on me for the past 2 days, that please, you don't want anybody, you want me to be here. I mean, I have to reschedule give this. Because
it concerns your office.
It's not because it concerns my office. I can abort it, and nothing you can do. But because I feel that your pressures on me, even I'm in a meeting, I have to pause my phone. But I now look at it. Look, this guy that is asking for something, it has a purpose. Why? Let me buy a time. So if government, those who are in authority, were so sensitive to issue, if they are so sensitive, or they learn that word, into issue, they will know that we are not being sincere. I did one survey in my house. I carry out one investigation. I discovered that a bag of rice, who is at the range of 70 to 80,000 naira now, it's not enough for my family to consume within a month.
Yeah, I think that was the same explanation that Festus Osi for the TUC.
Oh, somebody has said that.
TUC president
No. Listen, I don't even know somebody has made that statement. That's also, if people can be putting brain. I don't listen to that talk, but you listen. But I'm coming on with that. If that 80,000 naira, my sister, can 48,000 naira metaphor to 80,000? So now, are you now saying this family should never taste a rice? Look at another problems. As of today now, information reached that China is trying to import rice to Nigeria. You cannot go to anywhere now. I sent for Gary in my place. They say there is no cassava. That's a big problem. So, and we all know Gary is a poor man food. But how much is a mudu of Gary that contains 8 cups of mix? My children in school, outside, this schooling here, they want to buy Gary now. They told me that their own cup, that is it 10 cups, they bought it 1,200.
I think the white small rubber paint is.
So no. See, sir, when we are talking, we should not just come here for critics. We should come here, let us justify issue. Now, if those people in authority who are waste food, the food they are giving to their dog, eat. If you see it, if I eat it for 1 month as I'm here, my body, if I go to Abuja, my body will look fresher than the way I am today. So let us be sincere. There's no two way about it. For me to tell you this is what Labour will do, at the end of the day, if you don't shift position from 615 naira, I think, look at it very well.
I know that the organized labor have a toolbox. So you have negotiation, you have strike, you have a lot of things that are packed up in your toolbox.
I want to tell you today that strike is the last option. And I want labor as of today. See, I remember vividly in Plateau State here. For a period of 4 years or 6, we never embarked on a strike. You were asked why. During the times of Babajan, Lalong, we never embarked on a strike. It's toward the end of his tails period of time that Plateau State experienced a strike. Why? There is a lot of activities we have been doing. There is what they call social dialogue. That you can move into this sector. Educational sector is having problem. What is your problem? Let us talk. And when we can, if they have about 4 problems, and we are able to resolve 3 or resolve 2.5, I think it's very commendable. Why are you going on strike? Because we believe go on strike, you are losing. We are losing billions or trillions of naira. So it's not a matter of we have a choice of going to strike. We have to do down through. We have to try to give a picketing. It's not an issue. Go and look at the history. We are no longer interested about that. What we are asking for, the minimum wage as of today is overdue. As of April. Yes. By now, we're supposed to have enjoyed minimum wage. Yes. It's not NLC that say it. It's I mean, ILO convention law, and the law is domesticated here in Nigeria too. We are one of the people that assigned the signature into it. Why are you deviating from what you have signed? Why are you relenting from it? Why do you allow it to get to this period? 6 months before this period, you have started calling us for discussions. So you are not see that one and call government official and ask them that why have you not invited labor 6 months before the expirations of this time
of
to
course,
negotiate?
We'll have this discussion with them.
You have the discussions. What is the answer? They say they have no time because they are living big. Is there any one of them that any 45, the school their children is going, my dear, is there any of their children that go to school of 48,000 naira?
Comrade Sunday,
This is very bitter. It's a bitter experience.
I'm not a representative of the government.
I'm not saying you are, but I'm just telling you because at the end of the day, you are here. Even though you are in a private media house. If Nigeria say today, and Labour thought that, okay, minimum wage or living wage, remove minimum. Living wage now become 300,000. Will you not ask your management? You will resign. You are very good. Or there are some people who are eager to pick you up where you see the green pasture. So you will now say, okay, can I get 300,000? If you cannot get 300,000, you will battle to 250.
I mean, this minimum wage that
I said remove minimum wage. Let's go to living wage.
Just for clarity.
Have you seen many people have died because of lack of money? The husband can no longer feed their wife.
That's the
they
reality.
can no longer perform their responsibilities at home.
It's a reality that we cannot run away from. A lot of people are faced with hardship. A lot of people are hungry in Nigeria.
My dear, let me tell you, I'm privileged to travel to somewhere. I'm privileged to travel to see. It's unfortunate we are suffering in silence. Nigeria has a problem. The problem we have is not Labour have been helping. Are you understand the point now? Nigeria have a strength. Nigeria have a capacity. Nigeria have struggle absorber to accommodate whatever that comes to their way. That is why we find ourselves this time we are here and leave the struggle for the hands of the few ones. I was somewhere else and to screen the exercise. Surprisingly, you call somebody a director before you become director. Their salary is no more than 60,000, 70,000. So what do you say? Now, and you are going the street. The kidnapper will look that this is the director. The armed robber will look at this is the director. Let me chase him. And it's an empty purse.
Comrade Sunday, before we talk about economic reforms in this country or of this administration, I want to draw your attention to, earlier I was trying to clarify this minimum wage that we're talking about for some of our viewers out there. It's just the minimum remuneration.
Let me ask you a question. Before that money proposed, do you know people whom that money stands for? Do you know the grade that money stands for?
That's what I just said. Is the minimum remuneration to the least. That's the least that should be paid. But before for the employees. But let me still take your attention to the last minimum wage that was signed in 2019 by President Muhammadu Buhari, former President Muhammadu Buhari. As of 2011, it was the 19,000 minimum wage, and then 5 years after 2019, 30,000 minimum wage. But as we speak right now, the states that have been paying this 30,000 minimum wage are barely, I think, about 12 states. So it means majority of the states in Nigeria are yet to even implement this. So, and right now, Labour is proposing 615,000. So did you consider some of these states that are yet to even implement? Like what's your plan? I don't
know.
Forward,
I don't know where you are. I don't know where you are coming up with the analysis of some states that have not paid. You have not mentioned the names of the states that have not paid. As far as we are concerned, we know that was a time the Labour even give an instructions. The central body, Labour centers, the two Labour centers requested that they want to know who and whom, which state and which state that have not implemented the money, so that we know. And as of that time, I think for the few ones that we got the response from, we marched order there, and they commenced of payment. So if there is a state,
so states like Kaduna State, you are very sure that they pay 30,000 minimum wage.
Well, it's only when they bring it to my limelight, I will know that. I'm not within the responsibility to answer Kaduna have not paid. They have their principal officers. I'm what's going on. If you ask me much or what is going on here now, I will tell you when I've not seen the picture before me. But as far as I know, this state I am, they have excellently do well.
All right.
You understand the point?
All right.
Excellently do well, up to the wage award here and there.
Okay, so let's talk about economic reforms. All over the world, when there is economic reforms, there needs to be sacrifice. There needs to be sacrifice. And this administration from day one came up with a lot of economic reforms just to get things working, things that are decisions that should have been taken like way back, but it is now that this administration is coming and saying from the inauguration we had about removal of fuel subsidy and a lot more. But then a lot of people have questioned the methodology, though well intended, but the methodology, especially the day that the president was inaugurated, not putting things in place.
You have said something.
So the sacrifice now, this is my question.
Yeah.
Like I said, when there's economic reforms, there must be sacrifice. But like you highlighted earlier on, you see, when the sacrifice is both ways, it might not be a problem. But when the people continue to see that their leaders are begging them to be patient, but they are living in luxury, it becomes a problem.
Can I make something to you? At the beginning of your introductory.
So, but do you accept that there must be sacrifice when there is economic reforms?
Of course. There must. If it's real. It is real, and that's what I want to talk about.
So don't you think that this is part of it?
No, this is killing. This is suiciding. This is killing and suiciding. Without fear of anything, I can say that one loud and clear. You see, we are talking of sacrifice from both sides. That is good. When you are doing your courtship, do you get 100% from your husband? I mean, from your fiancé? Maybe you give 45%, and he also give 55%. So you now marry the two together, become 100%, right? But is Nigeria's situation when you are talking of economic reform? Is it like that?
The sacrifice.
The sacrifice. Let me give you. You want to take me back to my, maybe you want me to become an orator on this aspect. One, if you want to sacrifice during the times of regime of Ede Agbon Buhari, the highest car using is how much? What type of car? Peugeot. Today, everybody is using bulletproof. How much do they approve for each senators? For God's sake, one, when they were going for Christmas, each senator collected almost about 300 million for Christmas celebrations. The House Assembly collected its own. Now, is it a sacrifice? Is it a sacrifice? Look at the car each of them they were riding today. Right? So what are you talking about? Now, even what we are talking about minimum wage now or living wages, if they give us this 615,000, definitely we collect it with right hand. The left hand also, we take it away. You know there are so many ways. In your introductory message, you mentioned issues. How various way of tax being introduced. And you are compelling people to pay it. Now electricity is coming up. I'll give you what it means. For to buy 1,000 naira a unit as of today, 4 units. Where can it take us to? Then how do you expect somebody having 3-bedroom flat? I gave you that illustration. So how many units will they buy? So you see, when you are talking of this, my sister.
So when there is sacrifice, it should be 50-50, right?
What do you mean by even 50-50? When you are talking
of leaders and you have the people, and there needs to be economic reforms.
Listen, when you are talking of 50-50, I think is understatement. It should be 65, 60 or 40, 65.
So who should take the 65?
Me and you take 35 or 40.
Okay, then the leaders
take 60. Do you know what they go home with? Do you know how much is their traveling allowance? Do you know how much is their wardrobe allowance? Do you have access to all this thing? They are giving you 5,000 naira as a wardrobe allowance. And somebody, what's the percentage for me here? Somebody now is taking 200,000 as a wardrobe allowance. And you are taking 5,000. And you are talking of sacrifice. So it should be 40-50.
So it should be more on the part of the leaders.
Of course. And then, if you cannot say 50-50, make things, create an enabling environment that can ease our problems.
I think cutting the cost of governance is also important.
That's what I said. I've told you this. Maybe you are summarizing my statement. I'll give you an instance. Then another way of helping masses. I remember the particular regime when they said they have control price. And I think that's what brought the issue of having mudu of rice, measurement of things, attack at this. Who are you to inflate it? That's Buhari regime and the Ijeagbo regime. Am I right? So now, why not we study history? Why not we study history to say that the economic may have been getting bad before now, but people came and surveyed it a little bit.
But comrade, are you aware of the role of the IMF and World Bank in all of this? Because
they are killing us. They are killing us. They are killing us.
They asked the Nigerian government to remove subsidies.
Don't go there. Your oil, as of today, I'm telling you, your children, they are mortgage your children. They are mortgage my children. And that's why we have transfer everywhere. That's why we have kidnapper. They are no longer armed robber again now. Because of what? They are mortgages. These IMF, World Bank's loan we are talking about. They have been collecting this. What have they done about it? You are living, I think you say you are living around Rukuba Road.
My point
so
is...
No. All this money collected, for whom and whom?
Apart from the loan, the IMF and World Bank have advised Nigerian government to remove fuel subsidy, remove electricity subsidy, like increase the tariff, remove subsidy on all of that. So who do you blame in this? Do you blame the leaders for hearkening to this advice and trying to maintain their relationship, or we need to do better by looking inward and the reality we are faced with?
We are just going around the same issue. All these things brought down, land in the front of their tables. That is our leaders. I cannot go to your house and make a policy for you and your husband and your children. Will you take it like that?
IMF have done that.
No, wait. No. It's an issue that we place between your family and call the relevant body. Look, let us study these things. What are the implications? What are the effects of what we are talking about? Have they done that?
So what should be the middle ground now for organized labor have worked out of negotiation?
So what?
Now, what should be the middle ground?
We are waiting for them. Are you understand the point now? You see, there's something that I just looked at Nigeria that
you are representing the people. So let us go the middle ground. Our time is fast.
I'm just looking at Nigerians. I'm not looking at our leaders. You know, I told you I'm not interested in politics. So don't come in for politics talk, because it's a dirty environment that. There's nothing you can say. Everybody has a concept, so they will come with that. So let us talk about what touched my life.
But don't you think this add up to the problem that we're faced with?
That's
what people say, I don't want to participate.
No, it's not. See. Let me tell you what I'm saying is this. Understand when I say, all of us, one way and the other, we look into it, we get into that. But we just have to be very careful. See, what I'm saying is that what pains me for Nigerian is this. I said it. Whatever that comes our way, we take it. Like somebody say that. They say Nigeria is most happiest people in the world.
Very resilient, patient
very resilient,
people.
Everything they painted us. Why we are so? Why are we japa? If really it is true, you see, our government have studied the weakness of our people. Our leaders, they know our weakness. That until when we start fighting, start beating ourselves, start destroying something, close shops, before they will sit down with us. So until when those orientations of people change. I want to tell you something. Let the whole world hear. People are calling us and ask us how do we do it. In Plateau State today, we give kudos to the present governor. Right? Something happened to us last year, December. What is it? We organized a retreat with government and labor. So the relationship of labor now and government need to come closer, so that not all the time we keep on fighting, not all the time we keep on exchange correspondence. We can sit down together on the round table, drinking your tea, and be talking issues, and take notice of issues, and find out what are the solutions to matters. Are you getting the point now? So you see that everything will go on seamless.
All right, talking about labor being the voice of the people now, representing workers, the plight of workers and all of that. No wonder labor reacted to the 48,000 saying it's ridiculous, it's insensitive of the leaders. So like I said, what would be your final suggestion now? Because it looks like labor is not happy with the federal government. Federal government is saying,
my recommendation for government of today is this. Let them be sincere. They should not be so close-minded person. Let them open their mind and look at the realities of what labor are presented before them, we came up with appraisers in various states. We invited all the governors and other stakeholders of the government for the meeting, and they hear the submissions. Then what I want them to do, what I want governments to do, is to stand up and ask Labour, please give us your data. Do you have the data here, or I should call for my phone and let me open the data for you?
Our time is fast.
Okay, you will see education 40,000. What can how many children can you pay 40,000? My last born baby today, my last boy in GSS 3 or GSS 2, I'm paying 51,000 naira at what they call it, ITF. Right now, if Labour is now propose 50,000 or 200,000, a single person have consumed within 3 months that's education. Medical, if you want to go to a hospital, sound hospital, your consultation fees will not less than 5,000 naira. Let them look at that document, give it to them. To look at it passionately, that this thing that is here, itemized here, is it really worth it? That is my. They should call for the document and studying it keenly, and they should stop deceiving the authority.
And I think one of the reasons why
they should be sincere.
Why the organized labor had to go is the fact that the federal government did not have any data to back up the 48,000 that they came up with, even though we are aware that
are you defending government?
I'm not defending government.
What data?
But that was what the organized labor said.
Yes, I know, but how can they? What data could they bring out to defend 48,000?
That's
at this time.
We are saying the same thing, COMRADE. Our time is actually fast spent.
It should not be fast spent. Let us tell them.
No, thank you for your perspective.
Let them tell them. They should help us out of this country. We are suffering. We are dying. Please, we are begging you people, come back to the round table and let us discuss sincerely.
Thank you.
Tomorrow we justify every one of us.
Thank you so much,
Tomorrow we justify every one of us.
Thank you, COMRADE.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, COMRADE Sunday AYODELE, for creating time to speak with us on National Talk. Hope to have you some other time.
Thank you very much.
And to our viewers out there, really appreciate you for your time on National Talk. Remember that democracy is a theory that the common people know what they want and deserve to get it. Until we come your way next week, stay blessed.